What's up, everybody? Justin here. We're back for more CDs, more of the CD collection. We're finishing out, rounding out the C's. I got some good shit here. So, let's talk about them and listen to my nonsense stories about all of them. First, we are listening to Impiety, Skull Fucking Armageddon, Singapore black death metal band. This is their second record. Really good, violent black death metal. A little Angel Corpsey sounding. I'm kind of bummed they played here in Atlanta 4 or 5 days ago, and work and life and home shit, I couldn't go to it. So I'm bummed I missed them. Bands from Singapore don't play in Atlanta, Georgia all that often. So anyway, Impiety, if you like them, keep liking them. If you never listened to them, listen to them. If you don't like them, you suck. Okay, into the CDs. Number 1, Convergence from Within. This is a, I'm assuming, brutal death metal, maybe kind of brutal black death metal. It's still sealed. Got this in a trade a long time ago, and I haven't managed to listen to it yet. Quick story. This is on Forever Underground Records. Forever Underground existed in the early 2000s. I don't know how long they lasted, but I followed them a little bit and bought several of their releases. But probably around 2001, I bought 4 CDs from their distro. 2 Dark Throne CDs and 2 other black metal CDs. I never got them in the mail. And I sent a couple emails, and I kind of got brushed off, and then he stopped answering my emails. Just no response, nothing. And I said, fuck it, I'll never get them, you know. $60 for 4 CDs and shipping. Now, 17 years ago, $60 is a lot of fucking money, man. I made like $7 an hour. You know, and I had like pushed some money aside to order me some CDs, and something happened. I never got them. The dude, you know, wouldn't ever fucking respond and try to make it right. And this is before PayPal claims. I think I paid with PayPal, but there's nothing they could do back then. So I chalked it up to, you know, $60 gone, and the label never did anything about it. Cut to a few years later, I had started a little distro, and I emailed Forever Underground reference wholesale CDs for my distro, and lo and behold, he immediately responds. Which of course I didn't say, hey, you ripped me off 3 years ago, but I also never wholesaled stuff from him. But anyway, they're not around anymore, so Forever Underground, fuck those guys. Alright, next we have Coprophenia with Arrived in Pieces, more brutal death metal. This I have opened and listened to. I'm not real familiar with this album. I think, from the best of my memory, it is just kind of generic. I think they're American. This is on CDN Records, which I'm also not familiar with. Brutal death metal, Coprophenia. That has something to do with poop and blood. So I guess it's the state of having blood in your poop. So I've had a little Coprophenia. Hey. Anyway. Next. Corporectomy. That is a surgery to remove poop. Did you know that? This is on Severed Records. This is an EP called Within the Week of the Wounded. This has a really killer logo. I like their logo a lot. Just a good brutal death metal logo there. Kind of looks like Guttural Secrete's logo a little bit. And this artwork all through it looks like they stole stuff from Dead Space, that video game. I think several brutal death metal bands have stolen stuff from Dead Space. Anyway, brutal death metal. I don't remember what this sounds like, but I think I like this a little more than the other one. I have to put this on and listen to it again. I think that they are German. And Germans do good brutal death metal. So, we'll check it out again. Now, here we go. This is one of my favorite brutal death metal bands and releases of all time, Copromesis with Muay Thai Lady Boys. Copromesis was a brutal death metal band from New York. Kind of the brainchild behind the band is a guy named Paulo. Paulo's also in the bands not Biolic. He was in the band Gathsmain. He's in the band Mixoma. He's done some live stuff as a live vocalist with Artificial Brain very recently, and a bunch of other bands. But Copper Mises, he played guitar and sang in, and it is just one of the best, super brutal, ultra guttural, super technical, super heavy, brutal death metal albums. It's real tech, but it's real heavy. It's kind of slammy. It's just really good, and it's so fucking gross. And Paulo has the grossest vocals. They're just ultra gurgly, and Paulo is a buddy of mine, and me and him have a brutal death metal band that we've been working on with another guy. Dylan plays drums, and I play guitar, and Paulo is singing. It's called Unborn Salivate. I'll put a link to our demo in the description below, and we are currently working on a full length. But if you like super, super guttural, awesome, sick, brutal death metal, Copper Mises, Muay Thai Lady Boys, it's fucking awesome. It's super gross. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Corrosion of Conformity, Deliverance. I'm not a fan of hardcore punk Corrosion of Conformity. I only like the stuff with Pepper Keenan singing. And Deliverance is the best of all that stuff, in my opinion. Being from the South, this kind of I like this kind of stuff just by nature. You know, I love Leonard Skinner. I love, Southern rock. And Corrosion of Conformity is just a really good kind of heavy-handed Southern rock band, or at least that's what they have become. Real bluesy, real riffy. This was their big, major label record. Came out on Columbia Records. It's got Albatross on it and Clean My Wounds, which are the big singles. And arguably, those are the best songs on this record. But I love Deliverance. Pepper Keenan left COC a few years ago, was doing Down and things, and they did a record without him, which I didn't like. And now he came back, and they have a brand new record that's really, really fucking good too. But this is the only one that I own. And I picked it up at Criminal Records here in Atlanta a few years ago. I'd always liked it and knew the songs, but I never owned a copy. And now I do. But COC Deliverance, I'll link you some good shit in the description. So next, I'm going to fix this because the tray card is backwards, and that's obnoxious. This is Corpse fucking Art. More brutal death metal, I'm assuming. I think I got this from Ossuary Industries. Brian Farrell's label from Houston, Texas. And Brian's a buddy of mine. We've traded before, and I know that I met him a couple of times in Texas. We were playing shows. But this is Corpse fucking Art with the art of the fucking corpse. I do not remember what this sounds like, but there's 23 songs on it, so it's probably death grindy, short songs. There's probably samples on it, and it's probably about fucking corpses. I'll throw it in. We'll listen to it. Next, we have Corpse Zest with The Dagger and the Chalice. Corpse Zest they're from Denmark, I think. Heavy-handed, kind of cavernous, chunky death metal. In that style that a lot of bands are doing in the last 10 years. But Corpse Zest do it really, really well. If I can find it on YouTube, there's a music video for one of these songs that's really good. This came out on Dark Descent a few years ago. It's got a really good layout. It's real simple, but it's kind of dirty. It's on a matte paper, and I am a sucker for a good fucking layout. But this is good shit. They're super fucking heavy, and just death metal the way I like it. And I think they have a brand new one coming out soon. So next we have Cosmic Atrophy with Codex Incubo. And I got this in a trade. It's got this kind of space theme to it, and I'm not sure if I think it's kind of like brutal black death metal. I don't remember though. It's been so long since I think I listened to it once to check it out. But not much to it. doesn't look very good. It doesn't look interesting, and if it doesn't look interesting, it takes a lot for me to fucking try it and listen to it. So next we have Council of the Fallen. We got 2 CDs by them. Revealing Damnation and Deciphering the Soul. Council of the Fallen was a black death metal band. I don't know where they were originally from, but they ended up in Florida. And the main guy in this band, Kevin Quirion, when he ended Council of the Fallen, he started Order of Ennead with Steve Asheim from Deicide. And then he joined Deicide, and now they just do Deicide. But this was his original band, and this is their first record. And it's a little raw, just kind of by the numbers, you know, black death metal. It was good. It's a good CD. And then this one came out, and this was on Martyr Music. This came out on Season of Mist, so it's a bigger label, bigger production. This is a much slicker record. This is kind of what the direction went before they became Order of Ennead. And it's just, they're both good, kind of technical black death metal records. But I saw Council of the Fallen in my hometown, Valdosta, which is a little town in South Georgia. We had a little punk club there, which was in an old house. You had to walk up the stairs and play upstairs, and there's no stage, there's no sound system. It was just a PA for the vocals. And I saw them play there one night to me and one of my buddies. And that was it. The show wasn't promoted. Even the club, it was a restaurant downstairs and the club upstairs. And when they walked into the restaurant, the guys were like, oh, if you want to play, go upstairs and play. No one fucking gave a shit. It wasn't organized at all. But they were rad. They were fun. They played to me and my buddy and the other touring guys that were with them. But they're good. I like these 2 CDs. I've always hung on to them. And props to Kevin Quirion. I talked to him a little bit that night and kept up with him. And he's doing his thing in Deicide now. I saw Deicide last year here in Atlanta in a club that holds about 200 people, and so a smaller space for Deicide, and they were so fucking good. I didn't know what to expect seeing Deicide in 2017, but they were great. So, next up, this is way out of left field, and this will probably be the most unexpected thing you will see in my entire CD collection. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Counting Crows CDs. So, before you stop the video, people my age, you remember Counting Crows from the early 90s. They had 2 really, really popular songs that were all over radio and MTV. August and Everything After. Or the record was August and Everything After. It was their first record. And they had the songs Mr. Jones and Round Here. And like anybody else into punk rock and metal in the early 90s, I ignored them. Cut to 2000, I meet my wife. And this is her favorite album of all time. Here's her original copy. This is her original copy. This is their first record. Came out in 1993 on Geffen Records. And so we start listening to it. I start listening to it with her. And very, very quickly realized what an incredible band they are. They do not cater to any kind of traditional pop music sound at all. And the fact that they've been such a popular band for so long, and have continued to put out records every couple of years, owes to their talent. They don't write pop hits. They don't write verse, chorus, bridge, hook type songs. Now there's some of those throughout there. They had a song on the Shrek soundtrack a bunch of years ago that was real popular. But they're bluesy, they're kind of somber. They have these really emotional songs. All of their songs tell stories. They have really deep lyrics. Adam Duritz, the singer and vocalist, he's the vocalist and the songwriter. He doesn't write songs for you to sing along to. He doesn't write songs to have catchy lyrics. He writes songs to tell you stories about shit that's inside of him. And it's incredible. But real quick, I've got their first record. I have the deluxe edition of their first record, which is a double disc. It's got some live stuff and a remastered version of the album, and then a big, thick booklet with a bunch of stories about the band and recording this and touring around this time, and it's really good. It's a really good read. And then I have their second record. Now, when I say me and my wife together have these because we've been buying them throughout the years. But believe me, I listen to these just as much as she ever has. Recovering the Satellites was their second record. This has A Long December on it, which is one of the most great, like, emotional songs ever written. It's a song about a friend of his dying throughout the month of December. And people who know the early Counting Crows want to say, oh, well, they were one-hit wonder. Mr. Jones, Around Here, that was it. But they have had just killer songs on every record. And they've continued to be on a major label for 25 years. I mean, they play sold-out shows on tour every year. They're still around, and they're fucking awesome. Second record, I have their third record, This Desert Life. Now, this one, admittedly, is a little more poppy. It's a little more succinct in the songwriting. But it's really, really, really good. We listened to this one in the car the other day. Then their fourth record, which the booklet to it is actually sitting on my desk over there, is Hard Candy. Hard Candy came out in 2001. 2001 or 2002. And this kind of, you saw a resurgence of the band. It was about 10 years after the first record, and people were like, oh, they're still around? And this record, man, it's fucking killer. Hard Candy, American Girls, If I Could Give All My Love, Richard Manuel Is Dead, Why Should You Come When I Call, Holiday in Spain. Just fucking killer fucking songs. Then they put out Saturday Nights and Sunday Mornings. This record is cool. There's two parts to it. So the Saturday Nights side is the more rock and upbeat, like rock and roll, the kind of dirty. This record's way more stripped down. And then Sunday Mornings are the more, they pull it back. And this is the come down. This is you're still drunk from the night before. You want it to be quiet. You're probably hungover. You're hungry. You know, you want some breakfast. But this is a fucking killer album. This came out in 2007 or 8. 2008. So about 10 years ago. I still think of this as a new Counting Crows record. It's 10 years old. Then they had Underwater Sunshine. This came out in 2011. I'm not as familiar with it. I have not listened to this one as much. My wife really likes this one, though. And then they have a newer record past this that we don't own yet. I need to buy it. I can't even tell you what the name is right now. And then we have a live CD, Across the Wire. It's a double disc. There's a couple of different live sets on here. And this is live stuff from 97, so 21 years ago. And then Films About Ghosts. That is a best of up through probably like 2010, somewhere in there. Early stuff. And then another live record. This is New Amsterdam. This came out in 2006. So live shit from 10, 12 years ago. But love this band, man. They're one of the few not metal, not punk, not, extreme or subversive type music that I really, really, really follow and really, really love. But love Counting Crows. I think they're incredible. We've seen them live a couple of times. We're going to see them live again this summer. And to date, it will be the most money I've ever spent on concert tickets. So think about that. I've been to, in the last 20 years, hundreds of metal concerts. But in one fell swoop, I've spent more on this band than any of that. And part of it, is something me and my wife can do together. And when you get older and you get married, that'll make sense. I don't know why I'm assuming everybody who watches these videos is young. I know you're not. But they're really good live, and they don't just play the songs live. You're not going to hear this song and hear that song and hear this song and hear that song and they be done. You know, I've seen Cannibal Corpse half a dozen times, and Cannibal Corpse is like a machine. They get up there and they do their routine. They play I Come Blood. They play Hammer Smash Face last. They play, you know, the new single, and it sounds just like it sounds on the record every time. And it's the same stage banter every time. Not with Counting Crows. They may, in the middle of one song, play the chorus to another song. They may, in the middle of a song, play a cover for 6 minutes and then finish the first song. They may add a bridge to one of their songs from another song. He may sing the lyrics from one song throughout the entire other song. He may play one of their songs that's 6 minutes long on the record, but live it's 15 minutes long. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, they're like a jam band. They're not like a jam band, because jam bands are fucking terrible. But they're really fucking good, and I'll defend them tooth and nail. I fucking love them. Talk shit all you want, but that's it. That's it for this round. This is the third time I've made this video. The first one, when I got done with it, I realized I was only filming myself from the nose up. And then the second one, I got a few minutes into it and my fucking phone rang. So I stopped it and I started over. So, let's talk about these. I'll put links to everything and some more other cool shit in the description below. Let's, if you like any of this, let's talk about it. If you don't, let's talk about it. And I got more shit coming. More 5-minute favorites. More new stuff videos. And maybe some other stuff I have up my sleeve soon. So, till next time, talk to you guys later.